Okay, we have green light, green light.
Let's have a look at the grid for Heat 2 for Project E20. So, the results from qualifying decide the grids for the 3 heats, and they are exactly the same as what they were last time. Elis Spiezia from the United States will start on pole position. Theo Kakati from the United Arab Emirates lines up alongside. Mete Argun from Austria and Jan Mataš from the Czech Republic, row 2. Matas Jakobsen from Denmark and the Netherlands' Luca Neuenhuizen rounds out the top 6. Nikita Genza and Luca Munaretto round out the top 4 rows, ahead of the UAE's Nadim Kneisser and Norway's Mina Pedersen. Jannik Nielsen from Denmark and Mats Johan Overhoff round out the top 6 rows, with Lilo Elisa Firilev from Norway and Lawrence Seyfried completing the grid. So once again, Project E20, it is a standing start. And now this is a tactic that Theo Kakati used to great effect at the DEKM last weekend, which hosted its second round of the championship. So once they're all set up into position, our clerk of the course walks off, and now the red lights will ignite. They do, and it's lights out. They are off and racing, and a really good start this time from Elis Spiezia, who gets the initial advantage over Theo Kakati going into turn 2 for the first time. The American trying to hold on, but Kakati goes sideways, loses the back-end traction, and Spiezia counter-attacks with absolute clinical precision to keep the lead going into turn 4 for the first time. And Kakati was scrabbling for traction. Seyfried making it 3 abreast with the 7.55 of Mats Johan Overhoff and the 7.04 of Nadim Kneisser, who has dropped towards the back part of the field as positions are changing. Kakati's got his way past Spiezia for the lead. 7 minutes, 18 seconds, plus an additional lap as the 7.57, as Jan Mataš from the Czech Republic trying to get past, I think that was the one of the 7-0 carts. So at the moment, it is Kakati. There's a bit of dramas here going through the penultimate corner as Seyfried scrabbling for traction, amongst others, as they come out of the final corner. Who's leading the way after the first lap? Kakati leads, Spiezia second. Matas Jakobsen from Denmark rounds out the top 3 and looks up the inside of Spiezia and gets that position. So the American demoted to 3rd. However, he did a brilliant start to keep Kakati at bay over the first few corners of the lap, as the scrabble for 4th between Argun, Neuenhuizen and Mataš is definitely kicking off, and it's Neuenhuizen that gets ahead, but he's had more dramas. He's come a bit wide out of the chicane, so has Mataš, and that has dropped them all and sundry down the order. And Munaretto is there to capitalise. So that is great work by Luca Munaretto, again starting from 10th on the grid. And you can just see the amount of wrestling with these carts. The torque delivery is absolutely obscene in comparison with, say, an internal combustion engine. With an electric cart, you've got to approach it differently. You've got to make sure that you do your level best and try and put through. There was the 7.30. That was Mete Argun trying to go up the inside, I think, of Jakobsen there. So Kakati leads. Jakobsen in second. Spiezia third. Munaretto closing in. Spiezia of Italian origin as well. So quite funny that we've got an American that has Italian heritage. We've got an Italian with South African heritage, both within striking distance of each other. Is now Munaretto getting hounded by Nikita Genza, and here comes Lawrence Seyfried, and the 2 Germans get past. And that is for position. That is for 4th and 5th respectively. But Elis Spiezia doing a great job of trying to hang on at the moment, but he's having to be a little bit cautious as he goes off onto the mucky grass, brings the mud into the chassis. And there is Munaretto up the inside of Spiezia, who tries to get back past A 7.49 from Italy. And as a matter of fact, Luca Minoretto actually speaks pretty good English, because when you hear him speak Italian, he speaks like a native. When you hear him speak English, the South African accent comes through. 4 minutes and 40 still to go. Kekati leads heat number 2. Jakobsen, Genzer, Seyfried, Minoretto, Spiezia, Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands, Matas, Mina Pedersen up into 9th ahead of Mats-Johan Overhoff, Yannick Nielsen, Nadim Kneisser, Mete Argun and Leo Elisa Firaliev rounds out the 14 strong. There's another change for position, and this time it's Neuenhuizen past Spiezia, and Matas looking to get past the American. Spiezia having now based himself out of Düsseldorf in the other side of the country. As bit sideways there from the Dutchman as Matas tries to get through, gets up the inside of Neuenhuizen and then scythes his way up the inside of Spiezia, as does Neuenhuizen, and Spiezia just trying to keep that cart going. That's the biggest thing here. Sometimes you've got to have a bit of mechanical sympathy, but you've also got to read the conditions correctly. And Spiezia, who was running last weekend in the DEKM along with Neuenhuizen, Kekati and Mats-Johan Overhoff, had some dramas, and he doesn't want to make the same mistake twice. He's going to go a bit wider, look at the run he could get. He tries to get through, but all of a sudden the door is blocked by Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands. So the liveries here are actually the liveries that were showcased on the actual carts that were effectively unveiled at Sarno back in October of 2019. As Neuenhuizen trying to go up the inside of Jan Matas, gets the job done. Matas tries to counter-attack through the chicane, looks to the outside, looks to the inside, and again looks to the inside on the next apex, and he gets it done. And he gets away from Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands. And Matas wallops the curb, and the back end sent sideways to the left. But he manages to keep in front for the minute. And Matas is just going to have to watch what he does. I mean, especially if he's going to turn in with that kind of angle. That's not going to help the front. It's not going to help the steering on that car. Across the line they go. Kekati still leads. 2 minutes and 13 on the clock, plus an additional lap still remains. Kekati leads by 1.5 seconds ahead of Jakobsen. Genzer in second. Seyfried looking to get into the top 3 as Kekati sets the fastest lap of the race. Then it's Minoretto, Matas, Neuenhuizen, Spiezia, Nielsen, Overhoff, Kneisser, Argun, Pedersen and Leo Elise in the 7.05 rounds out the order, as there is a position lost by Jan Matas, and that is the 7.13 of Denmark's Yannick Nielsen, and that is a bit of a wayward 7.11. Obviously, paying tribute to the the convenience stores in the United States, 7-Eleven. I'm going to have to nickname him that as well, Elis Spiezia. But there goes the 7.13 up the inside. Oh, that was spinning around like a whirling top. Yannick Nielsen gets it all wrong through the penultimate right-hander. And that will bring out double-waved yellows. These weather conditions are not abating. And that just goes to show how quickly you can get it wrong. And that was spinning around personified by Yannick Nielsen. And that gave an opportunity for Spiezia to have a lifeline there. And that keeps him in 7th. .44 seconds on the clock remaining. And it's Theo Kekati that still leads. He's got a 2.2 second advantage over Matas Jakobsen from Denmark. Genzer is still running in P3, and there he is, just going up the hill in towards the penultimate right-hander. There's Laurent Seyfried trying to close him down, and I'm really impressed to see that someone, whether it be from Senior Rotax or DD2, actually decide to get behind the wheel. A little bit of sideways action there, coming out of the final right-hander towards the left-hand side for Nikita Genzer. He keeps it well and truly planted in 3rd place. timer has expired here in Project E20, heat number 2. The winner of this race weekend will get a Grand Finals ticket for the e-kart Grand Finals at the Bahrain International Karting Circuit between the 11th and the 18th of December this year. Through the chicane, Nikita Genza trying to keep it nice and neat and tidy. Next time around, it will be from the UAE, as there is the 704. That is Nadim Knesser, who's gone for another spin. The Emirati having another disaster in the second out of 3 heats. But we now head on to... Oh, and that's the 705 hard into the barriers. That is Leo Elise from Norway. She is out of the kart, safe and sound, thank goodness. But Theo Kakati on the final lap leads by nearly 3.5 seconds over Mathis Jakobsen, Nikita Genza, Lawrence Seifried. Luna Muneretto rounds out the top 5. Neuenhuizen. Then it's Matash, Overhoff, Spiezia as Kneser tumbles down the order. And Kakati making his way through, just having to counteract some power sliding from the back end of that all-electric drivetrain. The permanent magnetic synchronous motor on the back end. It looks very different to what you would see on a traditional Rotax racing kart. You would see the radiator on the right-hand side, but then on these karts, it's a bit of a different configuration. But out of the final corner from the United Arab Emirates, Theo Kakati braves the conditions and is bravest of all, wins the race. Second is going to be Mathis Jakobsen. Nikita Genza rounds out the top 3. Lawrence Seifried, 4th. Luca Muneretto comes out of the final corner. The Italian who won Heat 1 places 5th, ahead of Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands, Jan Matash, Mats Johan Overhoff and Ellis Spiezia ran out the top 9. Spiezia not placing outside of the top 10 so far this weekend, but took his maiden pole position earlier on yesterday afternoon. So Lilio Elise from Norway, unfortunately out of the race. Mete Argun rounds out the top 10. Nadim Knesser from the UAE, 11th. Mina Pedersen in 12th. And Yannick Nielsen rounds out the 13 strong. As marshals are on the scene. There's Leo Elise. Just looks to be a little bit shaken up. Going to have some checks done, which is the precaution. So there will be a little bit of a delay. But Theo Kakati wins Project E20. Heat 2 here in Muelsen.